Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful rose halter top. It has a rose flower at the top and it's a halter top as you can see in this photo. So let's jump right into the materials. If you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. So let's get started. For this project you will need yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Winter King. It's a 4-ply acrylic yarn and it's a size 3 yarn. Then I'll also need a 3.5mm crochet hook, a darning needle and a pair of scissors. So we're going to start off with the flower and then later on we shall make our top. You're going to grab your yarn and your hook. You can basically use any yarn and the corresponding hook for that yarn that you have chosen to use, and you will be able to get perfect results. So you're going to start off with a slip knot. And you're going to make a chain of 61. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep chaining until you have a total of 61 chains. So after your 61 chains, you're going to chain 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you will end up having a total of 66 chains for your starting chain for your flower. Alright, so we're going onto row 1, and for row 1 you're going to skip the additional 5 chains that you added to your 61 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th, which is this one, you're going to yarn over and insert a double crochet into that 6th chain from the hook. So skip 5 chains and double crochet into the 6th. Then from here you're going to prepare for a double crochet. Skip over 2 chains and into the 3rd you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the same exact chain. So this is going to create a V-stitch. As you can see here, this is a V-stitch. Then you're going to skip over 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the 3rd you're going to place a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the same exact chain. So along this row we are going to create V-stitches. As you can see here, we have this V-stitch and this V-stitch. We're going to repeat that all the way across. Skip 2 chains, and into the 3rd you're going to place a V-stitch, which is 1 double crochet, chain 3, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain. So repeat that until you get towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up your row. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of the row and we have 3 chains left. So as you can see, we have V-stitches all the way across, and your work should be curling. If it's trying to curl, then it's perfectly fine. That's the we're going to curl it eventually at the end of the project. So if it's trying to curl, just don't straighten it out, or don't think that you've made a mistake. So we have 3 chains left. We're going to skip over the third last and the second last chain, and into the very last we are going to place 1 double crochet, chain 3, and 1 more double crochet into that very last chain. So this marks the end of row 1. Alright, so we're going on to row 2, and for row 2 you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and you're going to place 5 double crochets into the very first V-stitch of the row. So into that space you're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's a total of 6 double crochets, since the first chain 3 counted as a double crochet. Then you're going to go in between this V-stitch and the next V-stitch, into that space between the V-stitches, and you're going to place 1 single crochet. And then into the next V-stitch you're going to place 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 6. So we have a total of 6 double crochets in our second V-stitch. And then in between this V-stitch that has received the 6 double crochets and the next V-stitch, you go into that space and place a single crochet. Now for the next V-stitches, we are going to place 8 double crochets into each, and then go ahead and place the single crochet in between the V-stitches all the way across until you have 2 V-stitches on your row. And then I'll show you how to wind up here. So let me show you how to do that real quick. Into the next V-stitch, we are going to place 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So after your 8 double crochets, you're going to go into the next space and you're going to place 1 single crochet, and then 8 double crochets into the next V-stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. After your 8 double crochets, you're going to go into the next space with 1 single crochet. So you're going to repeat that 8 double crochets into each V-stitch until you have 2 V-stitches left on your row. And don't forget to place the single crochets where they're supposed to be placed. So you should see your work starting to curl up. Don't try to straighten it out. This is exactly what we want our work to look like. Alright, now we have only 2 V-stitches left. We have this one and this one. And in those ones, you're going to place a total of 10 double crochets into each, separated by single crochet stitches. So into this one, the second last V-stitch, you're going to place a total of 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So once you have your 10 double crochets, you're going to go into the next space with 1 single crochet, and then into the very last V-stitch, you're going to place 10 double crochets. So once you place your 10 double crochets into the last V-stitch, you're going to make a chain of 1 and leave a tail behind that is relatively long, and then cut your yarn. Then you're going to pull through. We're going to use this tail to attach everything together at the back of the rose flower. So you're going to turn your work onto the side that had 6 double crochets into the V-stitches, so here, and you're going to start folding our work or rotating it in order to get that circular shape. So just like this. Keep rotating your work. And keep straightening it out so that it's not twisted. So whether you want it tight or loose, that's really up to you. This is what I've come up with, but I can go ahead and tighten it if I wanted something that's a little bit more compact. So you're going to turn your work onto the back side like this, and you're going to get that starting chain. Remember the chain that started from the slip knot at the beginning of the project? You're going to pull it through to the back like that. So you'll have 2 strings at the back of your work. Now you're going to get your darning needle. Here is mine, and you're going to thread it through the chain that you've left behind at the end of the project. And we're going to go into the different layers of the petal. So you're going to go into maybe this, and towards the center of the project. and then you're going to pull through just like that. And then you're going to keep doing that again and again all the way around the center of the flower, going into the different layers of your project towards the center of the project, and keep tightening those areas so that your flower doesn't fall apart. Just like that. So I come from outside towards the center of the flower at the base. So once you're done attaching everything, this is what you'll have. And then you're going to get the two tails that you have on your project, and you're going to tie at the back. You can tie it twice, and then you can cut off the shorter strand, because I believe we're going to use the longer strand to attach to our project that we are going to attach this rose to. So this is what everything looks like. Now from here we're going to go onto the actual top. You're going to grab your yarn. We're going to use the same exact color. You can even use a different color if you want to color block, if you want to get that effect of different colors for the same project. So you can maybe use a yellow, or you can use a black and attach a pink rose. But for me, I'm going to use the same exact color for my halter top. So to start on the halter top, you're going to start off with a magic ring. You're going to hold your yarn like this and then pull through the working yarn just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 1. This is going to tighten and close off the magic ring. So you're going to make a chain of 2, which will count as our very first double crochet, and then place 4 more double crochets into the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And since the chain of 2 counted as a double crochet, we now have a total of 5 double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 2 and place 5 more double crochets into the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So after your 5 double crochets, you're going to close off the magic ring just like this. You're going to pull on the tail and close that magic ring. So you're going to have something that looks like this. For this halter top, it's quite different. We're going to keep working like this in a U shape, as if. So we're going onto our next row. We're going to make a chain of 2, which counts as our very first double crochet. Turn your work. Actually, a chain of 3. From now on, we're starting off with a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet. Turn your work, and into the very first stitch you're going to place a double crochet. So we've placed an increase at the beginning of the row by placing another double crochet into the first stitch. So we have 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to the chain 2 space. So once you get to the chain 2 space, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact chain 2 space, just like that. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until the second last stitch. So this is what you'll have. And then on top of the last chain, you're going to place 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So just to cross check, you should be having a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 double crochets on each side of the chain 2 space. So we're going on to row 3, and we're going to repeat this. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, 1 double crochet into the very first stitch to make an increase at the beginning of the row, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to the chain 2 space. From here, you're going to go into the chain 2 space with 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the chain 2 space, and then 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until the second last stitch. And then into the very last stitch, which should be the chain 3, you're going to place an increase by placing 2 double crochets into that last stitch. So you can see we're working in a V shape, actually, not a U shape. We're keeping on growing our panel like this. You're going to repeat row 3 until you have enough coverage for your piece. I'll be recommending a number of rows that you should do for the different sizes, but this is going to entirely depend on the fitting that you're going for. So keep working row 3 and I'll be back to show you how many rows that I did for my size. And another thing that I have to point out is your work is going to keep growing and creating bust coverage. So whatever length that you consider, or whatever number of rows that you consider for your piece, this piece should be able to stretch across your bust and cover it entirely. So let me keep working and I'll be back to show you how many rows that I did for the size that I made for. Alright guys, I ended up doing a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 rows for a size medium. But for all the other sizes, I'll be recommending a number of rows, but you can keep adding or subtracting rows depending on the fitting that you're going for. So these are my 18 rows, and this measures about alright, this ended up measuring about a total of 22 inches at the base. This can fit for a small to medium, I believe, but if you feel like this doesn't fit well, feel free to add about 2 rows or subtract 2 rows depending on the fitting that you're going for. So this is about 20 rows at the base, and when it comes to the length, the top length is about 12 inches, as you can see here. So this is a cropped version. If you want a longer version, then you're going to have to do more rows in order to get more length to your top. Alright guys, so once you get the number of rows that you need for your size, or you get the length of the top that you wish to have, you're now going to create an edging for this top. So for the edging, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. We're now going to make 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, and then you're going to make a chain of 4 and slip stitch at the base of the single crochet, just like that, and then single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, chain 4, slip stitch at the base into those 2 loops of the single crochet, and then single crochet into the next 3 stitches, chain 4, slip stitch into the loops of the single crochet. So we're going to repeat that all the way up. So what this is going to create is those spikes on the edge of the top. As you can see here, this is going to be the right side of the work. So the wrong side of the final row is the right side of the top, because that's where these spikes are going to be popping on the outside of the project. So keep working all the way up until you get here, and I'll show you what to do from here. Alright guys, we are almost towards the chain 1 space, and I've just created a spike or a picot stitch At this point, I'm going to place 1 single crochet into the very last stitch before the chain to space, and into the chain to space you're going to just place a total of 3 single crochets into that space. And then the fact that I created 1 single crochet into the last stitch towards the chain to space, I'll also do the same exact thing on this side to balance what's happening on this side onto this side. So into the first stitch I'll just place 1 single crochet and go back to the picot stitch pattern or the spike stitch. So from here I'm going to continue to make a chain of 4 and then slip stitch in the single crochet and then single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So we've gone back to the original pattern for this final row, and you're going to do that until the end of the row once we get to the base of the triangle, as you can see here. So this is the wrong side of the work. When we turn it onto the right side, you can see the spike stitch or the picot stitch is popping out and is more evident on this side than on the opposite side where we are working the final row. So this will be the right side of our work. So work all the way down and clean up the edges with the picot stitch, and I'll be back to show you what to do next. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the row, and I'm placing my very last picot stitch towards the end of the row, and I'll place 1 single crochet into the very last stitch of the row. And when we turn it onto the right side, this is exactly what we have, guys. Let me try to zoom out so that you can see exactly what's happening. This is perfect. And now we're going to make a chain of 1 and cut our yarn. Now we're going to clean up the bottom edge as well with a single crochet stitch. So to do that, we're going to first make a chain that will join here, and then we clean up the edge and make another chain on the opposite side. So I'm going to make a chain of 75. So start off with a slip knot and make your chain of 75. So I have my 75 chains. If you wish to make more, especially for the larger sizes, maybe you can go to 100 chains. So from here you're going to go into the single crochet row with 1 single crochet, and then in each of the double crochet spaces you're going to place 2 single crochets into each and every double crochet row. You're going to place 2 single crochets just to clean up the bottom edge of our top. So 2 single crochets in each and every double crochet row, and this is what you'll have. So when you come towards the middle of the top, after placing your 2 double crochets in the last double crochet row before the exact middle of the top, you're going to just skip over to the next row and place 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets into the next row, and you're going to keep on doing that all the way across until you place a single crochet in the last single crochet row of the top. Alright, so we are coming to the end of the row, and I'm placing 1 single crochet in the single crochet row, and then from here you're going to make a chain of 75 or whatever number of chains that you did on this side. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through. So you'll have your halter top like this with 2 straps at the base of the halter top, and when it comes to the top you're going to separately make a chain of about 150. So make a slip knot and make your chain of 150. So when you have your 150 chains, you're going to cut your yarn and pull through, and you're going to locate the exact middle of the chain. Just fold it into 2, and you're going to get this folded end and push it through the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets you placed in the middle here. So we have this single crochet, this one and this one. So just find the middle single crochet or the exact middle of the top, and then pull this chain through like that, and then you're going to grab these 2 tails and pass them through the loop, and you'll have something like this. So this is going to tie around your neck. You can go ahead and cut off the excess yarn of the neck strap, just like this. And now we are going to introduce our rose flower. So this is our rose flower, guys. After everything, we are done with the halter top. Now we are just accessorizing. So we are going to place our rose flower at the top of our halter top. So that's the reason why we left behind this tail. So you're going to just turn your work, just locate where the exact middle, where you want to place your flower, and locate the exact middle part and just put your hook through, your darning needle through. If it's well placed and that's what you want to have, you're going to just turn your work onto the back side, and you're going to stitch through a few stitches of the top into the rose, just like that, because this is the back side of the top, so things won't be showing that much. Just try to be neat, try your best to keep it neat, so that if you're selling it to someone, they don't complain about the finishing at the back of the project. So just go in and out of a few stitches of the top into the rose flower, and once you're done with that, you're going to just weave in this tail, and then cut off the excess yarn. So you're going to get your darning needle and weave in all the loose ends. You're going to fold over to the back of the top and weave in all your loose ends. Right, so this is what we have. Another loose end we have is here on the straps at the base of the halter top. You're going to make sure you cut them off, and that's basically it. This is what our halter top looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and leave a comment down below to let me know what you think about this project. Should I do more quick projects like this, or you prefer the more complicated ones? So thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.